Don Pedro has bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio?
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed better expectation that you must expect of me to tell you how.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars, or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh! He's returned, and as pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You have musty victual, and he hath helped to eat it. He is a valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady, but what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wits between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for the difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No. If he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire that will make a voyage with him unto the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord. He will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he hath caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Good Signor Leonardo, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid costs, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace, for trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her father hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked him?
Oh, Signor Benedict, no, for then you were a child.
You haven't fooled Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Only the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her mother, she would not have her head on her shoulders, for all Messina is like her as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? My dear Lady Disdain! Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food defeated as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you accepted, and I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women, they would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue and so good a continuer. But keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
Are we agreed then, Don Pedro? Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, I invite you to stay at my house. Don Pedro will tell you the rest.
Your hand, Leonardo. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it in. But speak you this with a sad brow? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that I ever looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There was her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary. If Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this? In faith, have not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 60 again? Go to, in faith, and thou wilt need thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Oh, look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonardo's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio. I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he's in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
Oh, by my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his parts, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a recheat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to mistrust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is good horse to hire. Let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid not spin all his quivers in Venice, thou quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too then, and so I leave you.
Commit me to Leonardo, and tell her that I will not fail her at supper, for indeed she hath made great preparation.
My liege, your highness may now do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn an hard lesson that may do thee good. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned. Those war thoughts are left, all prompting me how young and fair young Hero is.
If thou dost love Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her mother, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story.
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no love's grief by his complexion.
And I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have some reveling tonight.
Oh.
I will assume thy part in some disguise and tell fair Hero that I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her mother will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine.
Hey.
And practice, let us put it presently.
Oh, now, daughter, where is the rest of our company?
They are very busy about, but mother, I can tell you strange news that I dreamt not of.
Are they good?
The prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick-pleached alley in the orchard, were thus much overheard. The prince discovered from Claudio that he loved me, and means to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found me accordant, he means to take the present time by the top and instantly break it with you.
We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will advise you that you may be the better prepared for an answer if peradventure this be true.
Go in with me and I will use your skill.
Inside Leonardo's house in Act 1, Scene 2, we find Don John, the bastard, clearly not the villain of the play, lashing out and lamenting over her status as a war criminal. To the only one who will listen, Conrad.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
I wonder why thou goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests, eat when I have stomach, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make full the show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace. Where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather you make yourself.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. It must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had a mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me. Who comes here? What news, Baraccio?
The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? Who is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio.
Even he.
A proper squire. And who, which way looks he?
Mary, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
Oh, being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking a musty room comes me, the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I heard it agreed on that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Will wait upon your lordship.
Later that night, in Act 2, Scene 1, Leonato decides to throw a mask ball. The servants, Margaret and Ursula, are busy setting up all the lavish decorations. They are expensive, and the music that plays has expensive licensing rights, and I'm not just saying that because of the Zoom production. Soon, Leonato, along with her daughter Hero and her niece Beatrice, enter, drinks in hand, gossiping after dinner.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw her not.
How tartly that lady looks. I never can see her, but I am heartburned an hour after.
She is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between her and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then have Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and have seen Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
A leg and a good foot on't, and money enough in his purse. Such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, cuz, thou wilt never get thee a husband, if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns. But to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What shall I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take sixpence in earnest of the bare word and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then go you into hell.
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. There's no place for you, me." So, deliver I up my apes and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, cuz, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, cuz, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you not be wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a sync pace. The first suit is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sync pace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye on't. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering.
Oh, make good room. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, good friend. Good cousins, have a care this busy time.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
Oh, with me in your company?
I may say so, when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor, for God defend the lute should be like the case.
Oh, my visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then your visor should be thatched.
Oh, speak low if you speak of love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I, for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Oh, which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God, match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight, and when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
Say no more words. The clerk has answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Leonato.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit her.
You could never do her so ill well, unless you were the very woman. Here's her dry hand, up and down. You are she, you are she.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to Mum. You are she. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Oh, did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
He is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will have no supper that night. Come, we must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I'll leave them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
That one's Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are not you Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal to his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I.
Yeah, so did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Count Claudio?
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow? About your own business, County? What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck like you sir's chain, or under your arm like lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why? Did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool. Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, senor, where's the count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the good will of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod, as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What is his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet, it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner. The lady Beatrice hath quarrels with you. The gentleman that danced with her told her that she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak with one green leaf on it would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary. And people sin upon purpose to go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service now to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the Antipodes rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh, God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Oh, come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
Oh, you have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Oh, why? How now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think your blazons to be true. Though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her mother, and her goods will obtain. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take me of my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let not him speak neither.
Oh, in faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, I thank it, poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord, for alliance. Thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me. And to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born under a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried. But then there was a star dance, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry your mercy, aunt, by your grace's pardon.
Oh, by my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard her often dream of unhappiness and wake herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear the tale of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She backs all her wooers out of suit.
Oh, she were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord. My lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Oh, country Claudio, what means you to go to church?
It's tomorrow, my lord. And time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
And not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just a sun night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
You shake the head at so long a breathing. But I warn thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it. If you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she will fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
With Don John the Bastard's plot overthrown, a wedding day planned, and some merry matchmaking in store, we move to the next day in Act 2, Scene 2, with Don John the Bastard lamenting over the failure of his evil plot to Braccio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman of Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseizable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince, your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose summation you do mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear Margaret call Margaret Hero, and hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this very night before the intended marriage. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working in this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go and learn their day of marriage.
With Evil Plot 2.0 underway, we completely ignore it in Act 2, Scene 3, when we move to an orchard at Leonato's, where Benedict is walking alone, talking to himself, which is something completely normal people do.
I do much wonder that one man seeing how much another is a fool, when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him, but the drum and the fife. And now, had he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would walk 10 miles afoot to see a good armor. Now will he lie 10 nights awake carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose like an honest man and a soldier. Now is he turned orthography. Ugh. His words are a very fantastical banquet. Just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted to see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it pleases God. The prince and Monsieur love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Yea, my good lord. How still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See where Benedict hath hid himself?
Come hither, Leonardo. What was it that you told of me today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
What?
Oh, I stalk on, the fowl sits. Oh, I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is possible since the wind in that quarter?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? There was never a counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effect of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well. This fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? I pray you. You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I would think this a gull, but the white-haired lady speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Have she made her affections known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says, shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This she says now when she's beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she have written a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told of us.
Oh, when she had written it and she was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet.
Oh.
That.
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for should I flout him if he writ to me? Yea, though I loved him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so. and the ecstasy has so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should. It was Elms to hang him. She's an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedict.
A hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he loves her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
Oh, she doth well. If she were to make her love tender, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
Oh, that's Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with a great discretion or undertake them with the most Christian-like fear. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of her love?
No, never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear it further by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish that he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Oh, let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewomen carry.
Oh, let us send her to call him into dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born to have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me! Why? It must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say too she would rather die than show any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth I can bear them witness. And virtuous? 'Tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise? But for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken upon me, for I have so long railed against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? The man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe man from the career of his humor? No. The world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think to live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure in the message, then?
Yea, just so much as you may take upon an ice point or choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, senor? Fare you well.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool.
With Benedict successfully bamboozled, we move into Act 3, Scene 1, an orchard at Leonato's. Might be the same orchard, might be a different orchard, he might have an orchard of orchards, doesn't matter. The point is, we see Hero along with her two gentlewomen, Margaret and Ursula, awaiting the arrival of Beatrice, who is in their sights.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou see my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is nothing but of her. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it and leave us alone.
I'll make her come. I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, then we go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
O God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endured.
Sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block, moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No. Rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellent did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
Oh, she's limed, I warned you. We have caught her, madam.
If so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What? What? Fire is in mine ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick? Love on! I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly. Oh!
It's a match. Moving forward in time to the day before the wedding, in Act 3, Scene 2, we find Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo gently teasing Benedick over his newfound affection. All is well, everyone is happy, and there can clearly be no evil lurking on the horizon.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I towards Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that will be as great a soul in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedick for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dares not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell. His tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
Oh, say I. Methinks you are sadder.
Oh, I hope he'd be in love.
Hang him, truant. There are no true drops of blood in him that could be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Oh, draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What, sigh for a toothache?
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet, say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath for strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today and a Frenchman tomorrow, unless he has a fancy to this foolery, as it seems he has. He is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which has now crept into a lute string and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude! Conclude! He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That's what I know too. One that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
He shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet it has no charm for the toothache. Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
Oh, for my life! To break with her about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. The hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Oh, good evening, sister.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow.
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me. By that I will now manifest.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think of you a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me. Tonight you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so.
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to attain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
Well, I will disparage her no further till you are my witness. Bear it coldly till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, day, untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So you shall say when you have seen the sequel.
Later that night, at a churchyard near Leonato's, we move into Act 3, Scene 3, where we find Dogberry the Constable, as well as his trusted right-hand man, Vergis, addressing various members of the Night Watch. In a word, they can all be described as competent.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer body and soul.
Nay, that were punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George C. Cole, for they can write and read.
Ooh. Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Mr. Constable.
You have, I knew would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, I give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need for such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend, all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How? If I will not stand.
Why, then, take no note of him, but let him go. And presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and you are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble in talk is most tolerable, and will not be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know what goes with a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping could possibly offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why, then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not, then the better answer. You may say, they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him, by virtue of your office, to be no true man. And for any such kind of men, the less you meddle with them, why, the more is your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is, and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Ah, truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How? If the nurse be asleep and will not hear us.
Why, then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For if the ewe will not hear the lamb when it baas, will never hear the calf when it bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of your charge. You, constable, you are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince of the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by your lady, I think I cannot.
5 shillings on it with any man who knows the statutes. He may stay. Mary, not without the prince be willing, or indeed a man ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to say a man against his will.
By your lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chance, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Oh, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tonight, there is a great coil tonight. Dare you, be vigilant, I beseech you.
What? Conrad?
Peace, stir not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
Oh, I will owe thee an answer for that. And now, forward with thy tale.
I stand thee close under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, master! Stand close!
Therefore, know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible any villainy should be so dear?
Thou should rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
No, I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush, I may as well say the fool's a fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He's been a foul thief for 7 years. He goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Does thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily turns about the hot bloods between 14 and 35.
All this I see. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither. But know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. Oh, I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master, Don John, saw afar off this amiable encounter.
Oh, and thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the prince and Claudio, but the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed him, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, in rage, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name. Stand!
Call off the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that was ever known in the Commonwealth.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let you obey. Go with us.
We are likely to prove a goodly commodity at being taken up by policemen's bills.
Commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Whoop, whoop.
The criminals have been apprehended, but the evil plot and deception against Claudio and Don Pedro has gone forth. Can they be warned in time? Will the wedding go through with Hero? Will Beatrice and Benedict end up together? We're going to find out after a 10-minute intermission. So, ladies, gentlemen, etc., 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 we will be taking a break. We will resume at approximately 7:30 Central Standard Time. That's 5:30 Pacific and 8:30 Eastern. In the meantime, go ahead and grab yourself a drink, make yourself some more popcorn, maybe an adult beverage. I'm not going to judge. Maybe use the restroom as well. Additionally, now you could take a look at our program, which is listed in the Facebook event. It's free to look at. And if you feel so compelled, if you would like to use this time to maybe make a small donation to our theater company, we would greatly appreciate it. Again, no pressure if you can't, but if you can, we are so grateful and gracious. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I've prattled on enough. So we will be back in a little over 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello, hello. It's your friendly neighborhood narrator speaking. Just wanted to let everybody know that we will be resuming the show in approximately 6 minutes. So go ahead and get your refreshments on, and we will see you soon. We're excited to present the second half. Thank you very much. Ladies, gentlemen, those who identify in another fashion, please grab your seats. We are just about to get started. Thank you so much. We're about to resume Much Ado About Nothing, sponsored by the Kenosha Community Foundation. Enjoy. I'm the narrator again. Act 3, Scene 4, The Day of the Wedding. At Leonato's house in Hero's bedchamber, we find Hero along with her bridesmaids, Margaret and Ursula, getting ready for the big day.
Good Ursula, make my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Troth, I think your other rabatta were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good. I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none other but this. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband. Is there any harm in heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else where she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am out of all their tune, methinks. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hey ho!
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
What means the fool, Tro?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desires.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed? There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Oh, get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus. Lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth. I have no moral meaning. I meant clean holy thistle. You may perchance think that I think you are in love. Nay, by our lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking, that you are in love. Yet, Benedict was such another, and now is he become a man? He swore he would never marry, and now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of town are come to fetch you to church.
Good dress, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
Moving to the church, in Act 3, Scene 5, we find Leonato pacing up and down, putting the final touches on her daughter's big ceremony. But soon she is beset by Dogberry the Constable and Vergis.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it. It is a busy time with me.
Mary, it is this, sir.
Yes, in truth that it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Goodman Burgess, sir, speaks little of the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God help us. I would desire that they were bred in faith, as honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God. I am as honest as any man living. It is an old man, and no honesty to deny.
Comparisons are odorous palabras, neighbor Vergis.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so. But we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I would find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, eh?
Yeah, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
Yes, so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, had taken as a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
Good old man, sir, he will be talking, as they say, when the age is in and the wit is out. Thank God. Help us, it is a world to say. Well said, if faith, neighbor Burgess. Oh, well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride a horse, 1 must ride behind. And on his soul, if faith, by my troth, as is ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, a good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, hath indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in a great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be supplicants.
Drink some wine, there you go. Fare you well.
Go, good partner. Get you to Francis Sequel. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are to examination these men.
My lord, they say for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I am ready.
Act 4, Scene 1, The Wedding. One by one, the guests file in, filling in the pews. At the front by the altar is the friar, along with Claudio, and everyone is eagerly awaiting the arrival of the bride.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount the particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your soul to utter.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what's men dare do? What men may do? What men daily do, not knowing what they do?
How now, interjections? Why then some be of laughing. Ah, hey!
Stand thee by, friar. Mother, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God to give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none.
And seem I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee, seeming. I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Wait, prince, why not speak you?
What shall I speak? I stand this honor that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Ma'am, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True. Oh God.
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's sister? Is this base heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that motherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee, do so, as thou art my child.
Oh, God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can hero. A hero itself can blot out hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then, you are no maiden. Leonardo, I am sorry you must hear. Upon my honor, myself, my sister, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounter they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language, without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady. I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, hero! What a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Why, how now, cousin, wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things thus come to light smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, aunt. Hero, why hero? Aunt, Signor Benedict, friar!
Oh, fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
Why, how now, cousin Hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Wherefore should she not?
Why, doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero, do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die? Thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames? Myself would on the rearward of approaches strike at thy life. Why, she is fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Madam, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
What the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way onto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face. 1,000 innocent shames and angel whiteness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Sire, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left, that she will not add to her damnation.
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my mother, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirit toils in frame of villainies.
I know not. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, but they shall find awaked in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess left for dead, let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried, shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. She, dying as it must be so maintained upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into the study of imagination, into the eye and prospect of his soul, than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it in the likelihood. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may leave me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for to strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come. Die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I loved nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear it and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Fare you well.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. Nay, there is no love in you. I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice.
Faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh, God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, surely, a princely testimony, a goodly count, confect, a sweet gallant. Surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. And so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
We shift in both tone and location for Act 4, Scene 2, to an interrogation room in a police station where we find Dogberry, the constable, and Verges, of course, interrogating the apprehended criminals, Baraccio and Conrad.
Is our whole dissembly appeared?
Stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that am I, and I am my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before, Master Constable.
Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend? Baraccio. Pray, write down Baraccio. Yours, sirrah.
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Well, pray, write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yes, sir. We hope.
We hope. Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. I'll answer you for yourselves.
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
Mirthfulness, witty fellow, I assure you. But I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah. A word in your ear. Sir, I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves. Sir, I say to you, we are none. Well, stand aside! For God, they are both in a tale. Have you written down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Mary, that is the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you, in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's sister, was a villain.
Write down Princess John a villain. Why, this is black perjury to call the prince's sister villain. Master Constable, bring thee from a piece. I do not like thy look. I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Black burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by the mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly, and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
That is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away, and the hero in this manner was accused, and in this manner refused, and upon grief of this, suddenly died. Yeah. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonatos. I will go before and show them the examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in hand. Ah, coxcomb!
Ah, God, my life! Where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass. You are an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! Masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not yet written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. Know thou, villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, which is more, an officer, which is more, a householder, which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina, and one that knows the law. Go to, and a rich fellow enough. Go to, a fellow that hath losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. That he has been here to write me down an ass.
Moving back to Leonato's house in Act 5, Scene 1, we find Leonato, along with Ursula, awaiting the arrival of the sexton, but unbeknownst to them, Claudio and Don Pedro are right around the corner.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me that Hero is belied. And that shall Claudio know, so shall the prince and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords?
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good madam.
If she could right herself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs her?
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword, I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear.
Tush, tush, man, no Claudio to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and the bruise of many days do challenge thee to a trial of a man. I say, thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, madam.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare. Despite his nice fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so doff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou kill'st me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come, follow me, sir boy. I'll whip you from your phoning fences. Nay, as I'm a woman, I will.
Ursula!
Yourself. God knows I loved Hero. And she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops,
Ursula!
gambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, depraise and slander, go anticipally and show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all.
But Ursula!
Not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentles both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But on my honor, she was charged with nothing but was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my
I
lord!
will not hear you.
No. Come, Ursula, away. The sexton has arrived to speak with us. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Oh, see, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, Signor, what's news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, Signor. You have almost come to part almost the fray.
We had like to have our own two noses snapped off with an elder without teeth.
Leonardo and her maid. What thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee, draw as we do the minstrels. Draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
What, a feast? A feast?
If faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which if I do not carve most curiously, says my knife's naught. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou had a fine wit. True, said she, a little fine one. No, said I, a great wit. He hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore one thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. Thus did she an hour together transhape thy particular virtues. Yet, at last, she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily and said she cared not. And, moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But shall we set the savage bull horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your sister, the bastard, is fled from Messina, You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warrant you, for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
Oh, pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my sister was fled?
Come, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reason in her balance. Then, and you being a cursing hypocrite one, you must be looked to.
Oh, now, 2 of my sister's men bound. Baraccio 1.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderous. Sixthly and lastly, they have belied a lady. And thirdly, they have spoken unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I asked thee what they have done. Thirdly, I asked thee what was their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they committed. And to conclude, what do you lay as their charge?
Rightly reasoned and in his own division. And by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What is your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go on farther to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your sister, incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I'd rather seal with my death and repeat over my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Run not this speech like iron through your blood.
I have drunk poison while he utters it.
But did you say my sister set you on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of
it. She is composed of frame of treachery, and fled she is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image appear, that my image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed sinewy enough of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Senior Leonardo and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
You would know your wronger. Look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to praise your patience. Yet I must speak. Choose your revenge itself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good madam, I will bend under any heavy weight that she'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang an epitaph upon her tomb. Tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be it my nephew. My brother hath a daughter almost the copy of my child that's dead. Give her the right you should have given her cousin. And so dies my revenge.
Leonato, your overkindness doth wrung tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow then I will expect your coming. For now, I take my leave.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. Pray you examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverent youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
Oh, God save the foundation.
Much Ado About Nothing is sponsored by the Kenosha Community Foundation. All rights reserved. Results may vary.
Co, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave for your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
In Act 5, Scene 2, we move indoors and find Benedict along with Margaret. Benedict attempting to write a love ballad for his beloved Beatrice.
I pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For, in most comely truth, thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me? What shall I always keep below the stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as a greyhound's mouth, it catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
And so, I pray thee, call Beatrice, I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think has legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love, who sits above and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby. An innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn. A hard rhyme. For school, fool. A babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. And no, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Oh, sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, senor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Ah, then is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that which I came for, which is knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and I must either hear from him shortly, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
Oh, for them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Oh, suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I must spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question. Why, an hour in clamor and a quarter in room. So much for praising myself, who I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill, too.
Serve God, love me, and mend.
Madam!
There will I leave you two, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your aunts. Yonder is old Coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And moreover, I will go with thee to thy aunt's.
The next morning, before the crack of dawn, in Act 5, Scene 3, we are at a churchyard, specifically the tomb of Leonardo's family. We find Claudio standing before the grave of Hero, bearing a scroll. Nearby, Don Pedro stands, silently observing, and unbeknownst to both of them, Hero and Beatrice stand, observing them.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang that there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now unto thy bones, good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Look, the gentle day. Before the wheels of Phoebus round about dopples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Come, let us hence and put on some other weeds, and then to Leonardo's we will go.
Act 5, Scene 4, the real wedding. At Leonato's house, we find Leonato, Margaret, Benedict, Friar, Hero, and Beatrice, everyone awaiting the arrival of Don Pedro and Claudio so we can have a real wedding.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears, in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves. And when I send for you, come hither, veiled. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, father.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, signor?
To bind me or undo me. One of them, Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I my daughter lent her? 'Tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
Sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical, but for my will is your goodwill may stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage. Marriage.
Oh.
In which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Ah, here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind, no matter the outcome.
Call them forth, cousin. Here's the friar ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm, and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold.
And some such strange bull leaped your father's cow, and got a calf in that same noble feat. Much like to you, for you have just as bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweets, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hands before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when you lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero! Hero that is dead!
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when after the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of their hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar.
Yes.
Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Oh, why, no. No more than reason.
Why then your aunt and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Why then my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for you did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I'm sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Vincent.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee. But by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace! I will stop your mouth.
Hey.
Oh, how dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
Come, we are friends. Let us have a dance ere we are married, made that we lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First, of my word, therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife, get thee a wife.
My lord, your sister, John, is ta'en in flight, and brought with armed men back to
Not
Messina.
on her till tomorrow. I will devise thee brave punishments for her. Strike up, pipers!
The cast of Much Ado About Nothing, everybody. I'm not going to let them keep dancing forever. Wonderful work. Introducing Jamie Churchill as Leonardo and Seacole, Kenneth Motley as Don Pedro and Oatcake, Hugh Oatcake, Dominic Knotts as Claudio and a watch person, Madison Fairchild as Hero and a watch person, Kayla Bingen as Beatrice, and her husband Rick Bingen as Benedict, Ashley Rodriguez as Ursula, the Friar, and the Messenger, Tom Cawley as Dogberry and Baraccio, Gabriella Ashland as Conrad and Burgess, and last but not least, Sarah Zapian Ford as Don John, Margaret, and the Sexton, and I guess also me as the narrator. Thank you all so very much for tuning in and watching Much Ado About Nothing. This was the Rose Cast, performed June 27th, 2020. You all know that, but I'm saying it because we're recording it. If you liked what you saw, I'd like to welcome all of you and invite all of you to follow us on Facebook. Maybe give us a like if you liked it. That way you can keep up with all our goings on the rest of the summer and life, as long as our theater company's open. We're going to be producing The Winter's Tale at the very tail end of July, and also our very first August Strindberg play called Creditors. It's a one-act drama with a kooky ending, so make sure to tune in there. Also, we have 2 other plays that we are going to be producing whose titles we can't announce yet because we still don't have the licensing approval yet. We're hoping to find out next week whether yay or nay. But I can say these are works written by African-American playwrights and African playwrights, and we are going to be producing them in an effort to solicit and raise donations for the Black Lives Matter movement, because there can be no true equality in this country or the world until we have equity, until systemic racism in all of our country's institutions is a thing of the past. So we are going to do what little we can as a theatrical organization to help that along. And we would love you to follow us just so that you can keep up and all that. And lastly, thank you all so very much for tuning in, for being our audience. We had around 30, 40 people between Zoom and Facebook, which is wonderful. That's very good for us. Those of you who don't know, that's very good for us. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your donations. And most of all, thank you for tuning in and supporting Shakespeare in the era of coronavirus. Thank you all so very much. Have a good night. You can go now, audience. You can get out of here. Go. We're done. We're gonna stick around for a few minutes and just talk. And if you want to listen to that, I guess. But is creepy, so you should go. Thank you, but really, thank you all for sticking around. Wow, there's like 10 holdouts in Zoom. Man, you are okay. Anyway,
I stayed on for your Friday night performance because I just wanted to see how far you were gonna go.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
I literally was that one that stayed all the way to the end. Yeah.
We'll just turn it into a podcast.
Yeah. Okay,
I was like, Alex is still going. Yeah, I'll stay for the Alex show.
I'll commit to the bit, man. I will always commit to the bit. But actors, that was great. That was a lot of fun. Oh man. I hope everyone felt good about that. We recorded it, and we're recording tomorrow's as well. We'll be streaming tomorrow. We have to re-verify our YouTube page, but once that is verified, then we'll be uploading everything to YouTube as well.
Ooh.
You can download the stuff yourself if you want, but it's a really large file. It's about 1.5 gigs, 2 gigs. So I can't email it to you. If you want to have access to it, just let me know and I can send you a link. Let me get rid of this sound thing so I can see all of you. Let's see. Tomorrow is our final show. That's so weird. It's so weird only having 2 shows. It's at 2 o'clock, so call time is 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't have to say Central Standard Time anymore. Oh, that's such a relief.
I don't know how you did that other show, like with all the time zones.
I know. You were like saying like, and it's this here and it's this here, and I'm like, oh my god.
I got used to it, but no, I had the easy part. It was the other actors who had to be like, okay, Central, so I'm an hour ahead. I'm 2 hours behind. I'm 2 hours ahead because I'm in Brazil, etc. So yeah, 1:30 tomorrow, and then same shtick as today. Anybody have any last-minute thoughts, questions, queries, soliloquies, monologues?
I just want to make a note. I don't know if this has been here forever, but because I threw that apple, right? And I get the suspicion that I might have dented my wall.
Oh shit! I mean, darn. It's PG.
Like I don't know if it's still there, but like that's really funny to me.
No.
And, like,
as long as it's funny to you.
If you wanna, if we need to stop doing the bit.
Oh no, I don't care. I don't care.
Just kind of like
you're gonna throw it. It looks fragile. Whatever's behind you.
What's that?
Like whatever's behind you looks fragile. Like it looks like
what's
a.
the case?
Oh,
like the trophy
oh
case?
yeah, that's a bunch of like knickknacks and stuff. I've been definitely not aiming there. I'm like throwing it this way. So like, do I have the?
Just a little flick. Just a.
I was gonna say maybe just don't throw it so intensely, and that'll also help it get picked up on the camera anyway. Just like a slight toss.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
Can you imagine if there was some serious damage back there?
It would be funny.
My parents walk in. What do you do to your wall? Well, so I was throwing the apples, right?
Mom,
You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, let me tell you.
Yep, that's me.
We have to make sacrifices for the bit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, be careful, Dom, tomorrow. Anybody else?
Just that tomorrow I'll use my actual glasses. I had them like set up, and then I couldn't find them, so I had to grab my like other fake glasses. So sorry about that. I will use my actual ones tomorrow.
Perfectly fine. I on my phone, everyone's so tiny. It was hard for me to see. Also, my phone's cracked now, so it's hard for me to see.
No.
I dropped it on Thursday.
You do have a nice like Aurora Borealis thing going on.
Yep, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Borealis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Aurora Borealis, located in your kitchen? What?
Yes. Can I see it? No.
Sure, it's got this natural glow.
A little shimmer.
Oh, also, I loved the Globecast. I loved watching them and being able to see what was different.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to tune in. It'll also be posted on YouTube. I know a couple of you couldn't make it, so yeah, just take a look. I was about to say it's in a book. I'm tired.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are. Last double day for me. Hooray.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for everything. I know we're not done yet, but I still feel like, holy cow, you have been working so.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But you all have. Seriously, we've not even been together for 3 weeks, and yet we went from read through to performing for a lot of people. And all the characters are wonderful. The journeys you go on are fantastic throughout the whole show. There's a lot of fun and funniness and also drama. And it's one of the reasons I love this play, but all 10 of you are bringing it super hardcore. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone, you're good. Group hug. That should be an option in the chat. Not just raise lower hand, but hug. Well, I am going to pull the Midwesterner and say I'm going to let you go. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 1:30, and we'll warm up and chat, and then, I don't know, maybe afterwards pour a drink or something briefly, just to be like, yeah, let's have a cocktail hour or something. Awesome. All right, have a good rest, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Yes.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.
Good night, all.
You gonna do your closing bit there, Alex?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my closing bit. Oh, you stuck around until the very end, huh, Kayla? Wow.
I'll give you the stage to yourself. You've earned it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Well, anyway, this is this is just for posterity because we're still recording. Much Ado About Nothing, as performed by the Rose Cast on June 27th, 2020, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't have to say that, but I'm going to anyway. Performed with an audience of about 40 people thereabouts, maybe high 30s, something like that. Performed on Facebook, performed on Zoom as part of our 7th annual Summer Shakespeare series. Directed by and adapted by Alex Metalsky. I think that's everything I need to say. Some of you are still watching. Anyway, get out of here. Good night, everybody.